Alright, this is gonna be a short and sweet one. I usually don't delve into fanfics or just pure writing in general. One, because not much there really calls to me, and second, it's hard to make videos about it. Which is why this is gonna be kinda lacking in visuals, sorry in advance. But anyways, fellow Touhou YouTuber, game dev and writer Adam10, also known as Megapig9001, offered me a copy of his second fanbook, Dreams into Reality. And I said sure, I'll take a look. And by the way, this is gonna be completely spoiler free for once. So Dreams into Reality is a collection of 3 short stories: The Flame Shrine Maiden, Invisible Full Moon, and Primordial Beat. First one deals with a young Reimu that wants to take to the skies like many of the foes she's encountered. Right away I found it pretty charming. It's written in a very light-hearted way, almost like a bedtime story, and it combines aspects of both the PC-98 and Windows era of Touhou pretty nicely. It's like an origin story of sorts. The banter between the different characters is very good, and I think the characterizations of both a younger Reimu and Marisa is spot on. That said, there is something that immediately soured my experience. It's going to be my main criticism of the whole thing, and it has to do with the prose. More specifically, the overabundance of onomatopoeia and different sound effects that get used and repeated and stretched throughout the text. Overall, I would describe it as this feels like it's written in the same way you would speak it, if that makes sense, as if you were narrating the story to someone out loud. Again, like a bedtime story or a fairy tale, and as far as I know, that was a bit of the intention. But when having to read it, it's something that was more of a distraction, constantly taking me out of what's otherwise a pretty sweet tale. It does add to the lightness of the stories, and there are some cases where I thought the usage actually elevated the writing, but most of the time it was just irritating, and I'd have preferred if analogies or more descriptive sentences were used instead. I'm not gonna mention this again, it's something that permeates all 3 of these tales, and again, really my only criticism when it comes to the writing. Next is Invisible Full Moon, describing Daisen's arrival in Gilsukyo and her being taken under Edison's wing at A&T, as she learns about and gets used to life in this new world that's very different from hers, while also dealing with the anxiety that came from abandoning her home and her fellow moon rabbits. Now this was a bit more interesting to me right away, part of it being biased because I do love the A&T cast very much, but I think it does tackle the issues of anxiety and PTSD in very sensitive ways. Even if it does feel like it's rushing through the motions a bit, since, it's made to fit within such a short word count, I found it very enjoyable. Definitely my favorite of the 3. Not so on board with the characterizations this time around, though Daisen herself is pretty good, and that's what matters. I think Kaguya was probably the best one though, and there's some nice attention to detail around the point she actually makes her appearance, which I'm showing a lot of restraint right now to not just outright mention what it is. Basically, you can immediately tell that it's her talking because of one little detail, and I just love the way that part is written. For the rest though, yeah, there's a couple, not much, but a couple liberties taken that I'm personally not a fan of, and I think some of the retelling of the events don't align that well, but the point is mainly being a character exploration of Daisen, and I think that's done pretty well, even if again, it does stick to being overall pretty light about it. The last story is divided into 2 chapters, Primordial Beat and To a World of Life, definitely seeming like the one that received the most attention. Like the others, this is also a sort of origin story, this time for Raiko Horikawa, and probably the one that takes the most liberties, so I would say it's more of a reimagining rather. And sadly to say, it's probably the one that I like the least. That doesn't mean I didn't enjoy anything about it, it has some cute moments, it plays into what seems to be one of the themes of this work overall, which is the relationship between humans and yokai. It even has an original character, which is dangerous? No, but I actually really like how she's handled, and the way she's introduced is honestly pretty clever. But when I start going, I don't think that's how that works, way too many times, it really does start to pull me away from what the story is supposed to be. I feel that also there may be more fitting options within Touhou to discuss the topics of illness and death, and it would have definitely been better to be more subtle about how certain aspects are brought up. Even then, I think the overall message is a good one, and it's delivered in a pretty good way in the end. I just wish the vehicle for doing so had been a little bit more thought out. And that's what I got from Dreams into Reality. Well, all I can talk about really. A couple of stories that explore 3 different characters in different and pretty fun ways. From what I get, it's supposed to be a beginner-friendly book, which does explain some of the things that seemed a bit weird to me, but if that's the case, yeah, I think someone new to the series could follow it no problem. It does a really good job at introducing the characters, it shows a good understanding of what I think are some of the core themes of Touhou, though I guess you'd definitely get some tone whiplash if you were to read this and then dive into Touhou itself. Personally, I typically prefer stories with a bit more teeth to it, more dramatic if you will. That said, judging it by what it is, 3 short and fun easy reads, it is very good, and I did enjoy my time with them, so definitely do pick it up if you want something to take the edge off for a bit. Thanks again to Megapig for the opportunity. You can find his channel down in the description below, so go check out his videos as well. I won't be at Tokofest because I live a million thousand miles away, but he will, so if you're also around, say hi for me and pick up this fanbook if you like. And if you prefer the digital option, well, that's available right now. You can find a link to that in the description as well. I will now return to the Void to finish the next video. Sorry for not uploading anything last month. There's been a few things happening, and then I had this and the whole EUST remake, remaster, whatever you wanna call it, catching me by surprise. But it's coming out soon, I promise. It's an analysis, sort of lore video that actually covers the topic this fanbook does as well, so look forward to it. Special thanks to Tier 3 patron Spectre Scourge for supporting these endeavors, and as always, thank you for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, tell your friends, all that stuff helps support the channel. Join the Patreon to help me make more videos and also get access to future videos earlier, as well as exclusive updates. I also stream on Twitch every week, Monday and Friday, so do stop by and say hi if you have the time. For now, I will see you next stream.